Good morning, everybody. This is Gavin Townsend with Keeping It Real Estate, and I'm also here with Nici Johnson.
Good morning.
So we're going to dive right into our monthly market update. Nici, I know this is one of your faves.
It is one of my faves, and I'm so excited that it's earlier than usual because usually this is something we look forward to at the end of the month.
Yes.
And here we are surprising all of you with having it right now, which is great because I can then replay this throughout the month.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I feel as though people would really like to have this information,
And
whether you're
digest
looking for a house, selling a house, or not. I feel like it's very interesting to learn.
Absolutely. So we busted a move this month and got data a little more quickly, and I've been in a lot of meetings in and out of my brokerage to discuss what happened in July. So let's start unpacking it. We're going to talk about what's moving and what it means for you, whether you're buying or selling real estate in the Glow region. And again, the market update for July is the market update I'm delivering today is based on July 2025 numbers so that everybody understands that. And when I say market update, I'm being specific to the Glow region, Genesee, Livingston, Orleans, and Wyoming counties.
Yes.
So that's what we're here to talk about is local market insights, tips for buyers and sellers, and what's really happening out there. So we're going to dive into the July 2025 numbers, what's up, what's down, what it means, if you're thinking about buying, selling, or even investing in real estate right now.
Okay, I'm excited.
So we're actually going to break it down a little bit further and in different ways this time. I'm going to talk about single-family homes first.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about multifamily homes. And when I say multifamily homes, I don't mean big corporate commercial apartment buildings. I'm talking about 2 to 4 family homes.
Like duplexes
Yes,
and things like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just to give you a little bit, because we're seeing maybe a little bit more of a resurgence in that of owner occupants in multifamily homes, or certainly investors. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But we're going to talk about single family homes first, okay? So my major headline here is that inventory is growing and demand is holding strong.
Good.
So that's healthy.
Yeah.
That's a good market. So unlike maybe other headlines you're reading of other areas in the country, we have increasing inventory, but the demand is there too. So buyers and sellers, you're both winning right now, which is really
perfect.
cool.
Okay.
Right? So in July of 2025 across the Glow region, 110 homes sold, which means that means a lot of different things. That's every status from under contract, from continue to show, to pending, to actually marked sold, closed.
Okay.
So a lot across the region, that was a lot of great activity. There were 328 listings on the market. So again, that doesn't mean they all listed in July perhaps, but there were active listings that amounted to 328 listings, single-family homes throughout the Glow region as of yesterday when I pulled data for July.
Perfect.
Okay, so that's great. So lots of inventory, or more inventory than we've seen. I wouldn't say we're totally flush, but it's more.
Okay.
Okay. The median sold price. So that means if you've got a list of every home that's active or every home that's sold in the Glow region, upwards of $1 million down to under $40,000 or $30,000. If you took that big list and you circled what was in the middle for that number, the median sold price of this inventory in July was $253,000. And the average, if you calculated an average of all of those sales divided by the number of homes, was $244,000.
Which is kind of staying strong with what it has been.
You got it, right. So suffice it to say, about $250,000 is our average median in the Glow region right now.
Right, okay.
Which for those of us born and raised here, we're probably saying to ourselves, wow.
But in comparison to, we've got it pretty easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you look at the national average where they're at 420, 425, we still have, some reasonable priced homes here. So the homes that are selling in July 2025, they were selling in just 28 days on average.
Wow.
Okay.
That's so fast still.
So, if you're one of those folks that's like, well, why didn't it sell in 3 days? I don't know what to tell you. I think it's not that we're not seeing that homes are selling in 3 days or less, but 28 days on the market's still very aggressive.
I think it's, great number.
Absolutely. So, and what was the total sales volume in the Glow region in July 2025? $27 million.
What?
Yeah. So Going to give some more
Wow.
context and start shaping this monthly market update a little different. And if you guys have suggestions of what you want to hear or learn about of what's going on in the monthly market update, reach out to us. But I thought that was an interesting stat.
Me too. Yeah.
Yep. So let's talk
Wow.
about financing, because we started talking about that more. So how did people purchase these homes, right? So financing breakdown, the majority of the homes that closed in July of 2025 in the Glow region, 59 of those were conventional loans. So they were financed,
Okay.
but they were financed conventional. 59 of those transactions, okay? Next to that was...
Was it cash?
It was cash.
Again?
So cash buyers were really strong. 32 transactions sold with
Wow.
cash transactions, okay? And then we did see some more FHA, VA, USDA. There's still activity in that. But by and large, number one and number two, respectively, not surprisingly, have been conventional loans and next to that cash to
Wow.
close transactions. So what's the major key takeaway here? Homes that are priced right and presented well are still moving very quickly. But with more listings coming online, buyers are gaining a bit more leverage and sellers need to be staying sharp with your pricing.
Yeah. And that's where somebody like you comes in to help guide us in all of that.
That's right. You've got to know. So buyers, you still have to be prepared. You've got to be ready. Sellers, you've got to be pricing right and presenting well. And we're going to talk about that in subsequent episodes, and we've talked about it previously. But that's my major takeaway. So that's the Glow region, single-family homes, okay, July 2025. Let's shift gears a little bit and talk about multifamily homes.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know there was like such a difference that there is worth, I guess, mentioning.
Yes.
A difference in between. Okay. Yeah. No.
Absolutely.
I'm curious.
They are listed differently.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
So when you're looking for a home, typically if you put in search criteria, if you're looking in the MLS or you're looking with an agent, they're going to plug in single family homes, and that's going to spit out the criteria based on what you're looking for, single family homes. If you need to search specifically for a multifamily home, you need to specify that. It's not going to pull everything together. Typically.
I didn't know that.
Now, when you're searching on third-party sites like maybe Zillow or something, maybe it pulls an aggregate if you just say, show me everything in Genesee County. It might pull that way. But typically when I'm conducting search criteria for buyers or doing comprehensive market analysis for sellers or buyers, I'm looking at the single-family homes separately from multifamily because they're listed differently. There's different criteria. So multifamily homes, and again, I'm not talking about big complexes of 4 apartments or higher. I'm talking about homes that have 2, 3, and maybe 4 apartments in them.
Okay.
Okay. So
Which is very relevant in this area
It
for
is.
sure. Like, yeah, that's,
Yep.
you see a lot of that. Yeah.
We have them, and we see them more typically in cities. You might see a few out in the country, too, in the Glow region. But suffice it to say, I wanted to talk about that there's a little bit more of a comeback with these. So
Okay.
not every first-time home buyer envisions themselves, or any buyer really, buying a multifamily home. It used to be a big trend back in the day because think of the benefit. If you bought a multifamily home, you're going to live on one side as an owner-occupant, maybe, or in one unit, and rent out the rest. And so you've got support and assistance with your mortgage and all the expenses of holding the property. Not everybody's cut out to be a landlord,
Yeah.
okay? And not everybody wants to take that on, or it's not really what they envision when they think of their first home or their dream home. It might not be the scenario that they envision. But in terms of affordability right now, and a lot of times when I'm working with first-time home buyers, I bring this up to let them know that this is an option that
Yeah.
you might want to consider.
For sure.
And who's to say that your first home is your forever home? And wouldn't it be wonderful if that you then hung on to this property and either leveraged it later to get into the next home or dream home, or hang on to it and develop a portfolio?
Absolutely.
So I think it's coming back, and I think a lot of people, even if you're not a first-time home buyer, I think some people are thinking in terms of the affordability and how am I offsetting that. If I can be an owner-occupant and I can dictate who else I'm renting to, and if I have the gut for that, then maybe this is a way I can come under contract and have a great existence in a multifamily home. So
Perfect.
So investors are active. So we're not just talking about, when we're talking about multifamily homes, owner occupants. The person who buys the home is actually going to live there themselves and then also rent out the other units. We're also talking about, not surprisingly, investors
who would ultimately be the landlord of the entire property.
You got it. Okay. So they own it, but they might not live there themselves. And it's not to say that multifamily, that investors only look at multifamilies. They look at single-family homes as well and rent those. But a lot of times people automatically go to, okay, investor or owner-occupant when we're talking about a multifamily. So in terms of July 2025 numbers in the GLOW region, there were 7 multifamily homes sold. So 7 multifamily homes that had 2 to 4 units in them were sold in July of 2025 in the GLOW region. And as a whole, there were 18 active listings for multifamily homes in July. So there's an opportunity.
Yeah, that number's a lot higher than I thought it would have been.
Yep, throughout the GLOW region.
Yeah.
And so there's an opportunity there for folks that maybe you missed out on a single family home, but maybe here's an opportunity to come under contract on a multifamily to help you have some rental income to offset your expenses.
For sure.
The median and average sold price is one and the same on multifamily homes because the inventory is relatively low in the GLOW region, and that is $173,785.
Wow, that's lower than the single. I'm actually very surprised by that.
Okay, and a lot of people are, Nici, so let's talk about that a little bit. A lot of times, multifamily homes are evaluated, assessed, appraised separately and differently than a single family home. And I talked about that. They're listed differently. There's different criteria. And so in our area, they're typically valuated lower. Single family homes have more of a value to most people in the market than a multifamily home. But you can also see that there's income potential there.
Right.
So that's why, hey, why don't you consider a multifamily home instead of a single family if you can stomach being the tenant and the landlord and all that? Because you might, on average, for certain, as I just mentioned, the average price is much lower than a single-family home.
Yeah, I still am very surprised by that regardless.
Yep.
I would have thought that to me, it's like a business, right? Like
correct.
You're making, I just would have assumed it would have been more expensive.
And it's not. And it's not to say that every market's like that. But in our area, this is a long-standing historical fact that the multifamilies are treated differently. They're evaluated differently than a single-family home. So there's an opportunity. That buzzer should be going off for people. Okay?
Yeah.
Average days on the market, this is probably not a surprise either. Average days on the market for a multifamily are 38. Okay. And when we said just a little bit ago, it was 28 for single family. So again, that kind of reflects market demand or value for these homes. And so I see that there's an opportunity there for not just an investor, but an owner occupant. Sales volume of multifamilies in the GLOW region in July 2025, again, a lot less numbers. So not surprisingly, 1.2 million, but things are moving and shaking. And of those homes that were sold that were multifamilies in July 2025 that were multifamilies, 5 were financed conventionally. Okay. And 2 were cash.
Wow.
Okay. So that's what went down. Now, it doesn't mean a lot of times you'll see FHA financing, and I won't get into the details on it today, and we'll bring a loan originator on sometime to discuss it. A lot of times you'll see that multifamily homes are often financed with FHA. It's a great deal for the buyer. They're 3.5%. As long as it withstands the appraisal, it's a really great cost benefit to finance FHA if you qualify FHA to get a multifamily home. That's not what happened in the last month, and I don't think it's happened in a bit, but that's an opportunity too. Because again, multifamily homes are valuated differently and they have longer days on the market, and so the seller who's motivated may look at and consider an FHA loan.
That's very, wow, okay.
So my big takeaway with this is that the rental market remains attractive. Solid investment properties are still moving. Not to say that multifamily homes are just for investors or for owner occupants too, just like single family homes can be investors too. But if you're working with a especially strong rental demand in our area, this is an opportunity. And we know rents are high. And I can't tell you how many times I get a phone call in a week asking for an apartment. It's somebody that's coming back to the area, or maybe they just sold their home, or for whatever reason, they're not in the market to purchase a home, but they need a good rental. And I'm telling you, it's almost easier to buy a home right now to find a good rental.
I actually was just going to say that to you. It's crazy how hard it is to find rental properties right now.
It is. So maybe be part of the solution here, folks.
Yeah.
And consider a multifamily property. But just like with single family homes, investors are looking for value and location. So it can't just be any multifamily. It's got to be about location, location, location.
Yeah.
What do they have to put into the property to bring it up to a particular standard? It's got to be about quality and condition and all those things. So those are things to consider with multifamilies. Not unlike single families, but
Right.
It's not to say that the condition shouldn't be awesome. It should be sellers. So don't just throw your multifamily on the market. You should have that at a certain level to make it marketable. Okay? So what does this all mean to everybody? You've got a lot to choose from, people.
Yeah.
Right? Sellers, heed the cry of, that there are people coming off the bench here for buyers in all different types of homes, not just single family. And buyers, think outside the box a little bit.
I like that, though. I feel as though that's something a lot of people would not think or consider. And I think even just right here talking about it, I think potentially somebody out there is thinking,
Wait a minute.
I didn't think about that.
Absolutely.
That's a good idea.
What a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I always tell my first-time home buyers, I'm like, listen, let me share a little trick with you here. And not many of them take me up on it, but I can certainly tell you a lot of people my generation did that, and they're happy they did that. But again, it's a case-by-case scenario. Not everybody's meant to be a landlord. That's a whole other episode too. But you've got options, buyers, okay? And sellers understand that the options are up there. Buyers, because you've got more options than you've had, don't get complacent, okay? The best homes are still going really fast.
Yeah.
And they're still seeing multiple offers over asking and all that good stuff. So that's my big thing for buyers. Sellers, inventory is up, so pricing matters. I can't say it enough. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's critical. If you price based on last year or wishful thinking, the house is going to sit. So work with an agent, work with a local expert who knows the numbers and the neighborhoods, okay? Investors, multifamily listings are active. So that's an opportunity, and this is a great time to evaluate your portfolio and take your first leap into owning an income property if you've never considered that before. But talk to me about that, because you got to know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Overall, the median days on the market are under 30 days.
That's another wild statement in and of itself, too.
Yeah.
We're still doing very well in the Glow region.
We definitely are. So I know that the multifamilies were up a little bit over 30, but I said 28 days on single family. So it tells us that there's still urgency out there.
Yeah.
Despite the interest rate, despite what's going on in the world, there's still need for people to have housing. And if your house isn't moving, if you're a seller, it's probably price or presentation or both.
Yeah.
You got to do something to sell your house. So July was strong overall across the Glow region. When I talked to my colleagues in other areas, including the Buffalo Niagara region or Erie County or out in Rochester and Monroe County, everyone's kind of calling it a catch-up month.
For them?
Yeah,
or
for the industry.
Because you were waiting for that boom you were talking
got
about
it.
before.
You know, we keep talking about that. We didn't see the huge spike in May and June, but July started picking up some steam here. So we're calling it kind of a catch-up month. Demand is solid. Inventory's climbing. There's opportunity everywhere for buyers, for sellers, and for investors. This is exciting. So I'm hoping and I'm guessing it's going to be a sign of things that persist and to come for fall. That's what I'm hoping for. So if you're thinking about your next move, let's make sure we connect. Give me a buzz at 585-344-1321. And whether you're a first-time home buyer, a property investor, or you just want to get top dollar on your current place, I'm here to give you some assistance and some guidance. So give me a buzz and we'll get it done together.
I love your excitement. You get me so excited about it. Your enthusiasm is wonderful.
It's
Ms.
a good
Gavin.
report. We had a good
is.
July. So congratulations to everybody out there moving and shaking, and to your buyers and sellers who are getting under contract.
Yeah.
We're making things happen. It's a good thing.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you coming in and giving us that report so early this month, too. I'm very excited to have that information and to share it with everybody. Like I said, I'm going to try to share this episode more than once because
Awesome.
I love it. I think it's very informational for everybody. So,
And if anyone has questions specifically about a particular county or neighborhood or town or village, give me a buzz because I'm happy to break that down. I really did a broad strokes Glow region report this time, but I'm happy to break it down county by county for you as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you so very much.
My
and of
pleasure.
course, as always, have a wonderful day and we'll be back next week.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us.